Morning. Roxanne King. Roxanne is always up early and first in line. Let me get this here. Morning to Roxanne. Yes, Roxanne, I see you brought out your brooms. Yes, we sweep. Pauline Buckmeyer, morning. Hillbench, Terence Swan, David Clark, morning. John Edwards, Simdom, 17, morning. Pamela Moses. Cheryl Seeley, morning to you. Judy King, Kenneth Gabriel, Ashlyn Robertson, morning, guys. Morning, Diane. Michelle Robinson Donation, morning. Good morning to His Excellency, President of Pleasantville and First Lady. He says, good morning, sir. I just knighted the new mayor of San Fernando. Yes, I saw we have sweeping changes with respect to the corporations and the heads. Interesting developments there. So, right, so to the folks on. Yeah, my ring light seems to be giving me some challenges. Yeah. I need to get a new one, but I'll get that when I travel to Florida in a couple of weeks. Brenda Isaac, Jacqueline Phillips, morning. Natalie Faria, Priscilla Holder, Sedena Kwashi, Ada Remy X, morning. Ria Ed, morning to you guys. Kevin Springer, morning. Kevin says, share the live. Davey Manuel, morning. Maria Lyons, morning. Joycelyn Small White, Nesta Green, Patsy Austin, morning. Marilyn McKenzie, morning. Marilyn. Pamela Moses, morning. Joy. Right. Carol, morning. So I'm not going to be on that long this morning, folks. I have restart. Back to the ground now that the election is over. When Marshall say out of body, back to yourself. You got to go back now to, yeah. Well, but the work continues for the next 2 years because I'm looking at UNC pages and I'm seeing where that is the talk. And I must, for once, congratulate the supporters and members of the UNC for your restraint with respect to your normally racist comments after an election where the results was not to your liking. And I see, complaints that PNM people were nothing good and we like to suffer and so on, but you have held your hands with respect to racial name calling. So maybe there's hope yet for that party and its membership. Perhaps there have been some profiles or some pages where some of you all might have gotten out of hand. I haven't seen it, but as I said, it is not as widespread as we saw at the end of general election 2020 and 2015. So yeah, keep it up. You know you're all hurting right now because the cocktail that you thought you were going to put on the PNM didn't happen. So your leadership now is grappling, trying to scramble all kind of nonsense to comfort her supporters who are telling themselves, not even with Jack is back, not even with Gary the Great, and not even with the help of the OWTU, were you able to put a shellacking on the PNM. I must say though, now that I'm seeing the specific results in terms of numbers for two seats in San Fernando. I think that's the biggest disappointment for me in this election, where Marcus Gidari would have lost by some 11 votes. I think that would have been icing on the cake if Marcus could have burst the tape, um, given the fact that he would have crossed the floor and there would have been no opportunity for the UNC to gloat. Well, there's no opportunity to gloat really, because you can't be talking in roads and thing, and a man who crossed the floor almost beat all yeah, and carry the seat that he left it. But he didn't leave with it, but to carry the seat that won for you in the last election, um, UNC, well, it's not even a stronghold. And this is the thing I don't understand. They keep talking about they make inroads and inroads. What inroads you all made? And that you all narrow the gap in a lot of areas in terms of the vote differential between PNM and UNC. 30,000 people who voted for the PNM in 2019, unfortunately, for whatever reason, didn't cast their ballot this year. 30,000. And for the want of 11 of that 30,000 in that seat that Marcus contested, for the want of 11 out of that 30,000, that could have been one more seat under the PNM column. For the want of 27 votes in what is it, Marbella West, Miss Marisho could have brought home that seat for us. For the want of 71 votes in Couva West Roystonia, one of the two new seats that was created, the PNM could have carried that seat too in a UNC stronghold. Mrs. Prasad Visesa is beating her chest. And last time it was 14, 40. We had all 14, and now we have 15 out of 15. But it should have been 14 out of 15 that they had, and we should have at least carried that one for the sake of 72 votes out of 30,000. Perhaps the PNM mantra should also have been don't tote, vote. Don't tote, vote. Because there's a lot of toting that took place that resulted in the decline of 30,000 votes. And the party needs to focus on that going forward, right? Not because we got a result that I know a lot of people weren't expecting, but nevertheless, it is no cause to sit on your laurels. I must say that I am very heartened, having spoken to quite a few people since Monday who have said to me, they're willing to work. These are people, ordinary citizens who have said, I sit in the background, I listen, I observe, I support the party, but I want to come out now and play an active role over the course of the next 2 years to ensure that the PNM wins 2025. And supporters of the UNC really, really delusional, because I'm seeing on Mrs. Prasad Bisesa's page here. She put out a post yesterday. UNC 173,961 votes in 110 districts. PNM 130,868 votes in 141 districts. The UNC got 43,093 more votes than the PNM in 31 less districts. Thank you all to the UNC Army. When you read the comments, the supporters are expressing, 395 people like that post. And in the comments, saying, yes, we're on the road to victory in 2025. And I draw to their attention, as I did last night on the program. In 2020, the PNM got 161,000 votes. 2019, 161,000 votes, local election. The UNC got 202,000. 8 months later, the PNM got an additional 161,000 votes. So they were beating the chest in 2019 about popular vote too. The same scenario that we have now, Same scenario. And they tell themselves, yes, we have it in the bag. 8 months later, general election called, and all they lost. The PNM got 100% increase. So while you all could beat your chest about popular vote in local election, for the last two general elections, the PNM has enjoyed the popular vote. So the UNC still hasn't figured out how to deal with that. What they need to be concerned about is the fact that 30,000 less people voted for the PNM in local election on Monday. And your party also saw a decline. Now, even if we give all your Gary votes, as you said before, well, let's still come up short 13,000. So it means that 30,000 persons did not find favor with your party. That with all the things you all have been talking about for the last 3 years, every night, Monday night is you all having meetings. Constant campaigning. The PNM has not done a fraction of the campaigning that the UNC has done over the last 3 years. As I mentioned last night, I mean, if the PNM have one public meeting every 3 months, is plenty. A handful of meetings. You could probably check on one hand the number of public meetings the PNM has for the year outside of an election cycle. And in the face of Monday night meeting after Monday night meeting, Sunday morning waste of time press conference, all of them things that you all do, going to run into the courthouse for this, that, the other, and the next, holding press conferences for this and that, all kind of thing. You have kick out the PNM Facebook page, you have Douglaya Politics, the Underground Report, you have Lennox Smith doing his thing. All of these different things, And yet still, 7-7. And Mrs. Pasabi says talking about the UNC overperformed. Overperformed? You overperform and you lose votes? Almost 30,000 votes? Overperformed, Mrs. Pasabi says that? You serious? And Jolene and Munilal talking about the UNC is ascending? Well, continue to tell all the supporters that now. Well, you're ascending. Like, we had to come up with a new brand of English for you, a new dictionary. Yeah, so on the math side, you have Kamlamatics where less is more. Like, we need to change English part of it now because I don't understand. It was the definition of ascending changed and we don't know about it. Because that makes no sense to me. 173,000 votes in 110 districts. Okay. Well, I said, even if in the 81 districts that you didn't contest, which to me was a disrespect to all supporters in those 31 districts, by the way. Notwithstanding the fact that you had an accommodation with Gary Griffith. Basically, what you were telling your supporters in these 31 districts is, yeah, well, now, hula Gary now, hula NTA. We really care to put no candidate there because we know we can't win those seats. So we vote for Gary or just don't vote. It really matters to us. That's basically what they said. They capitulated when it came to Diego Martin. I mean, I wonder how Don Sylvester feeling. Don, how you feeling? So I put Marsha Walker down there and poor Marsha gets she till cut. She got her shell. Never mind the fact that she tried to distance herself from the party with respect to certain things on social media, with respect to Jack Warner. She put it out there that, she didn't agree with that. In the hope of fooling people because she understands the demographic in Diego Martin different. They're different. The demographic in Diego Martin is not the demographic in Shonas. It is the demographic in Pooch, Isabad, Separia. They're different. Right? And they would not support that party so long as Mr. Warner is there. So you held on to, you have a few stragglers that the NTA was able to pick up by virtue of Mr. and Mrs. Griffith. And then, of course, you have the family members of people like Lorraine Pouchet and Ghassan Youssef and who would have been able to convince some people down on that side to support the NTA. But everybody else saw it for what it was, that it really, the NTA was a proxy of the UNC. And how can you tell me, well, okay, you're a new party, a fresh party, and then you're going to join up with the UNC? Gary Griffith did himself and his party a great disservice. But kudos to you, sir. If it's one thing, you know how to kill a party very well. And he's still talking about you will continue to look for parties to join up with in 2025. Who would have left? Join up with who? Jack Berry, the ILP. Right? Jack Berry, the ILP. Not that the ILP was really, I mean, the ILP was already in the political cemetery. It was just for them to fill up the hole. Yeah? And that's what Jack did. He find it taking too long and he take the shovel and he fill the hole and that was the end of that. So they have no LP to join with. Who else did that? Philip Alexander has indicated he has no desire to join with you all. But then politics makes strange bedfellows, so you never know what could happen in 2025 out of desperation. Right now, PDP was looking for a lifeline. He realized he can't make in Trinidad on his own. I don't even know how much votes they were. They didn't make 300 votes. I think 257 votes or something like that. The man make a note, not a note after they hand out all those loaves of love, walking all over Port of Spain. Hmm? All over Port of Spain, you're highlighting thing. You're going down beat them, see lots, you're nearly drunk. You see the people at the thing, the contraption, how they get from one side to the other, they in a little styrotex crate, and they have their line that running and they hold it and they pull. You want to play fast, so you want to jump in the thing and try it. Almost kill Kitty in the canal. Eh? Little bit again, we could have been here and rest in peace, Watson. You want to play all kind of maverick, and that's all the votes you get. Better keep your money, all them loaves of love you give out. Well, the love wasn't returned. The love certainly was not returned. I wonder who to he vote for. Because the other day, actually last week, couple days ago, she have David Naked Papi showing her. Eh? And he come, she have a yellow jersey on her shoulder. I guess he bring that jersey. And he talking and pack a smut. And she just, yeah. And yeah. Them feel, Twiggy know how to play the game, you know. She know how to play the game. Anyway. But he was walking in St. Joseph. Julie John in La Hoqueta, Talparo. Naked in Tunapuna. Marsha was walking in Diego Martin. And all that couldn't help all it. What else it have that you all could possibly do in 2025? David Abdullah done say it had no more coalition. The MSJ is not interested. Not that would make a difference anyway, because you all had support from the OWTU in South, and maybe that assisted you in the two Marabella seats that we lost. Right? Perhaps. I wouldn't doubt that support from the OWTU might have been, the fillip they needed to assist in those two seats. But again, I think perhaps overconfidence on the part of the PNM, especially in the seat with Ms. Mary Shaw, might have led to that outcome. So more work needed to be done there. I understand Terry, I haven't seen it, but persons are saying an interview was done with Terry Rundon, and he is grieving for what would have happened in Sangre Grande. I understand that there was a last ditch effort last week, Friday in Grande, which is why Mr. Monroe, who was supposed to be a guest on my program, didn't come, because they had a meeting, a last lap meeting with himself and some other MPs, neighboring MPs, government ministers, and so on, in an effort to try and salvage, because they were concerned that the UNC had sent out people like David Naked, Rudal Munilal, Anil Roberts, and others up there. And it seems that worked. But again, it is not because the UNC was able to make any inroads in terms of additional votes, but simply because PNM people did not come out and vote. And that is why, when we said on the barbershop a couple of weeks ago, is PNM people has caused PNM the election all the time. I don't know what it is with us that we can't seem to hold the line. Can't seem to hold the line at all. And in that regard, the UNC will always have the upper hand on the PNM. Every time PNM lose an election, or the results, is not what we would have liked. Now, I am pleased with Monday's result. But oh gosh, boy, 30,000 all there? 30,000? 30. Look at the UNC, yes, there was a decline of 30,000 too. But the difference is the base held the line. And thank God for the in particular the new PNM voters, the next cohort of PNM leadership, who held the fort for us and came out. Last night in the program, a lady called in to tell me that her 23-year-old son tell her, "Mommy, we have to go and vote, Mommy, you have to go and vote." 23 years old. 23 years old. So he understands the assignment. And a lot more of them too understood the assignment. Because come hell or high water, the youth of the UNC going out and vote. Now, in their case, the 30,000 that they lost, or might not even be 30,000, because as I said, most of the NTA votes was UNC. Most of the NTA votes was the UNC. But they still would have lost that. We say we give them that. 13,000. 13,000. decided for whatever reason they didn't vote. And we know out of that 13,000, some of them are just complacency and laziness and say, I'm going to go and vote whoever it is because they figure they're living in a UNC stronghold. So that is a foregone conclusion. But all of the excitement that was generated, all the meetings that they had, when they had the big launch in of the threesome in Center of Excellence, look at people. Tell yourself, hey, you see this crowd here? And we ain't bring no maxi and no bus. Everybody come here on their own volition. And who come with a car and whatnot, who travel to come here. Yes. And they allow themselves to be fooled by crowds. Munilal. But what is this? There's supposed to be a cottage meeting and look at people inside here and people still outside too. Yeah, we're going to beat the PNM to a frazzle and we're going to beat the frazzle too. Really, Muni? Really? Where the frazzle? Huh? Like the frazzle didn't get the memo? Only a joke, yes. But I come back to the point. Always, what more you could do? You know, PNM is a different breed. You know. PNM supporters, you gotta hand it to them. When they're displeased, for whatever reason, they make their displeasure known by staying away from the polls. At least we could take consolation in the fact that this time around, unlike in 2010, they didn't say, well, I will exercise on that displeasure by voting for the UNC. So kudos to you all for that. But understand that when you choose to stay away from the polls, it still affects the party. And we could have had at least 3 more seats in our column for the want of 11 votes, 27 votes, and 71 votes. 3 seats, 2 of which would have been UNC seats. Today, the UNC could be boasting and beating their chest. Come could boast, we have all 50. Why? For the want of 72 votes. So you have Ms. Kusi, who won that seat, one of the newest seats, Kuva West, or Estonia. What is her claim to fame? Her husband was one of the unfortunate victims in that area incident. What is Ms. Kusi's background in local government? What special skills does Ms. Kusi bring to the table that distinguishes her as a councillor? What? I understand that Ms. Kusi was a housewife. I stand to be corrected. But what else? What does she bring to the table? Ms. Marisho, I think, was an excellent candidate. An excellent candidate. But what now? You do not have her as a representative for the want of 27 votes. Marcus. Again, that would have been a feather in the PNM's cap, but for the want of 11 votes. And we had those votes and more, because I'm certain out of that 30,000 plus people who didn't vote for the PNM, who voted and supported the PNM in the last election, we could have got at least 12 votes there to put Marcus over the line. But some of our people, PNM decided to tote. Well, Marcus was UNC, and then the PNM take him. He crossed the floor, and they take him, and they make he the candidate. Right? He just come. So it had so much people, other people in the PNM who working hard and laboring in the vineyards and the trenches for the PNM, and all they come and bring Marcus and put he there. And we people, PNM people who there for so long, it had the youths in the PNM and all that. But you need to understand, if you're fighting a war, it's about strategy. And the fact that Marcus lost by only 11 votes tells you something. It tells you something that in a seat that was held by the UNC before, that we could have carried that seat. And it's about, yes, we have persons in the PNM who we could have put up to run for that. But there would have been people, UNC supporters, who were loyal to Marcus, who, notwithstanding the fact that he crossed the floor, would have still given him their support because they know Marcus and they know what Marcus brings to the table. And a pure PNM candidate would not have been able to get the votes and the support from such persons, which would have been critical, especially when we look at that margin of victory that UNC got. I mean, I was of the view too, some of the people who crossed the floor. I understand the position. I held the same view that, okay, you have people in the PNM who have been working hard and so on, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to give way in certain circumstances. Certain circumstances for the greater outcome. But people thought in that seat. And today, that is one more seat for the UNC. So even though it's still 7-7, I think overall the UNC would have gotten more seats. I think they got 72. I don't know the final count. I'm seeing 72 versus 69. Because the two new seats that the EBC added, I think they picked out the DP and then pick up one in Mayaro or something. So, but they boasting about inroads. All they make no inroads. What inroads all they make? Inroads on the east-west corridor. All kind of stupidness, or you're pulling out a hat to beat your chest. For what? Because you're hurting. You're hurting. All that work, all that effort you put out, and that was the result. How much more work and effort? So if it is that the PNM put out just a smidgen of effort, and they were able to hold the ground, as Dr. Rowley said, right? They held their ground for the most part. We went in with what, 72 or so seats. We took back the one in Arima that the UNC would have gotten in the by-election. I think there's still that the one in Princestown. I understand the recount would have resulted in a tie, so we'll see how that one works out. But at the end of the day, it's still 7-7. San Fernando, instead of being 5-4, should have been 7-2 in favor of the PNM. And I think that is the biggest disappointment and the biggest takeaway from this election. I don't know what happened in Grandy. I still don't know if it is they got 2 additional seats or 1. I don't know. I'm hearing different figures, but I guess we will. If anybody knows what the final tally was, they could put it in the comments, because I've been trying to find it and I can't. But work needs to be done in Grandy. Grandy has been crying out for the longest while, and I trust that the party will do what they need to do. Go into Grandy, see what the issues are, and do the work. I understand Grandy is crying out for jobs, but now the UNC has an upper hand again in the council, an even stronger hand in the council, with at least 1 additional seat. While we hold the constituency, they hold the corporation. Now, granted that, as was pointed out by Wendell Leversy the other night, we have the fight may not be as difficult with respect to general election on account of the fact that Kumoto Manzanilla, some of which falls under the Grandy Corporation, would speak to why they would have been successful in some of those seats. But for the general election, Kumoto Manzanilla and Grandy, 2 separate, different boundaries and so on, and therefore our chances are better. That is no reason to rest on your laurels. So the party needs to start strategizing what we're going to do in Grandy. There are people who are waiting in the wings to come out and do the work. Not just people in Grandy, all over the country, willing to come out and do the work. But we need to have a plan to tell them what it is we need them to do. And even if they too have ideas as to what they could do, we need to find a platform in which they could identify themselves. And let me say, thank you to all those persons who would have sent WhatsApp messages to the 7701763 number. Your names have been recorded, and certainly when we have that meeting with Chairman Young, it will be brought forward with respect to putting together some sort of strategy so we could deal with that. But right now, the UNC is on the back foot. Contrary to what it is they're telling their supporters, that because you win the popular vote in the local means you're going to win the general election. You all didn't learn from, all you know what statistics, UNC supporters? You all know what happened if 8 months after you all won the popular vote in 2019, you lost the popular vote in general election 2020, and you lost the election. The PNM has 2 years, assuming that Dr. Rowley decides that he wants to run the full gamut of 2 years in August. So 2 years, so August would make it 2 years, but like Mrs. Basabi says, he has the facility to take an extra 3 months and 14 days. Yeah? So he could call the election as late as December 2025. So we have just a little over 2 years, if he decides. But knowing Dr. Rowley, with the exception of this decision to extend the former life of the former corporation, and to postpone the last local government election by 1 year for good reason, which was to put in place the infrastructure to facilitate reform. Otherwise, Dr. Oli is a man known to call the election spot on the date. In the case of the last general election, he called it 1 month earlier than 1 month short or shy of 5 years. So whatever is in his mind, I don't know. But I am saying that going forward, we have 2 years as opposed to 8 months last time. So if in 8 months the PNM was able to recapture the minds and hearts of the citizens to be able to overcome that popular vote win by the UNC in 2019, how much more can we do in 2 years and a little more? So we have the time. We need the strategy. We need the plan. We have the people who are ready, willing, and able to do the work. There is no, who else could, as I said before, barring some new party or parties coming on the scene, and even if new parties come in, short of a party like the COP that has persons of caliber, persons of integrity for the most part, I don't see what coalition the UNC could possibly form. As I said before, PEP has indicated they're not interested, but things could change. Yesterday was yesterday. PDP, who else it have? Well, no other real party have no term. TPP in Tobago. That's the only one of concern, those 2 Tobago seats. But I would like to think that the PNM in Tobago, what we need to do is to energize the PNM in Tobago. There's a score to settle from 2021, right? You'll have a score to settle. And again, that result, when we look at the margin of victory in a lot of the districts in Tobago, was because of PNM complacency. That in 2021, the THA election, I believe the PNM would have gotten just over 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes. But for general election of 2020, the PNM got over 16,000 votes in general election, which means that over 4,000 persons who voted for the PNM in the general election of 2020 in Tobago either did not vote for the PNM, stayed home, voted for the PDP. Well, not all 4,000, but some of them would have voted for the PDP. Some of them just didn't vote. And where Ansel Dennis would have lost his seat by, I think, 4 votes. And again, we saw a repeat in the local government election. Why it is that it's so difficult for PNM people to hold the line when it is most important and most needed. And then you think you teach the party a lesson. What lesson you teach the party? When you figure you teach the party a lesson, all you're doing, if you're a genuine PNM, you can't tell me you want to teach the party a lesson. There are other ways to do it other than that. Because when you choose that route to teach the party a lesson, you know what's happened? You give the opposition an opportunity to gloat. And we still had to be here in 14-1. They put a good licking on the PNM at Tobago. You didn't see what Valley and them do? That should not have been. Kelvin Morris should have had the support of at least Ansel Dennis, Tracy Davidson, Celestin, and maybe a couple others. But hell, the PNM should have been still in office in Tobago. That 4,000 vote spread across would have been more than sufficient for us to boost the team in most of those districts. But no, we always had to teach the party a lesson. That election, that's important. All elections are important. All. But when it is that you decide that you're not going to vote and you hold back, you know what's going to happen? In Kubataba tell Paro, if we don't get a alderman, and I suppose we will, but assuming if we don't, it means that it's a full UNC council, they could do whatever the hell they want. There are no PNM eyes to see what it is that they do and to keep them in check. Right? So they could run roughshod, they could do what the hell they want in Kubataba tell Paro. That is their corporation. No PNM to watch to keep them checked to say, hey, look, they're doing so and so. That is why it's important. That is why. Even if we get one person inside there, but nobody, well, hey, we do what we want. UNC don't tell on UNC unless, they didn't get what they want, what they were looking for. But that's about it. At least, you could trust the PNM constituencies and PNM corporations. You could trust them. UNC. $300,000 missing from Separia Regional Corporation. What going on there? Where do that Meru? Hmm? Do you understand Meru? You have any updates on that? Do that? That 300,000 where it went? Dust in the wind. It just disappeared just so. Magic. Right. That's not. Let me extend some congratulations here to, based on what I'm seeing here, right? So the new mayor of Arima is Mr. Baliram Maraj, businessman Baliram Maraj. Congratulations to him. I know it must come as a blow to the UNC to know that the Maraj family, well, or at least Mr. Maraj Baliram, is PNM, not UNC. Yeah. They probably expect that he should be, but anyway. So let me see here. Chinua Allen, nephew of former Prime Minister Patrick Manning and son of well-known neonatologist Dr. Petronella Manning, he is the new mayor of Port of Spain, replacing Joel Martinez. He's also the chairman of the East Port of Spain Development Company Limited, so I imagine he would have to probably relinquish that position. Deputy Mayor is Councillor Abina Hartley. Congratulations to her. As I said before, Arima businessman Baliram Maharaj is the new mayor of Arima, and he will be ably assisted by one Jovan Roberts, who is the councillor for Tumpuna. He replaced Brennan Patterson. So Jovan Roberts is the new deputy mayor of Arima. So Mr. Baliram Maharaj would have replaced Mayor Kadni Kasimi, and Jovan replaces Herman Noel, I believe was the deputy mayor. San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris is the new mayor. He replaces Junior Regrello. He's a businessman from Pleasantville, and he has been a councillor since 2010. His deputy is one Alderman, Dr. Ferry Hossain, who was the deputy mayor in the last two. So no change in respect of that one. Tunapuna Piako, we also have a change of guard. The mayor, because I said all corporations now would be headed by a mayor. The mayor for Tunapuna Piako is Josiah Austin, a long-standing councillor. So Josiah is the new mayor for Tunapuna Piako, and he will be assisted by Alderman Clayton Blackman from Dabadi Omera. I know Clayton very well. He in fact would have contested the position of education officer, if memory serves me correctly, in the last internal election. Diego Martin, the new mayor of Diego Martin, is Aquila Glasgow. Congratulations to Aquila. Aquila has been laboring in the vineyards for quite some time. So congratulations to her. She's a former councillor, field officer at CPEP. And the deputy mayor for Diego Martin would be one Valisha Sukdar, who is she's a business support leader and a graduate of Howard University. Point Fortin also has a new mayor in the person of Alderman Clyde James. And the deputy mayor is one Kwesi Thomas. San Juan Lavantel, the new mayor of San Juan Lavantel, is a gentleman by the name of Richard Walcott. He replaces Anthony Roberts as the new mayor. And his deputy mayor would be one Kwesi Antoine. So those are the new appointments. Right, so in Tunapuna Piako, the outgoing was Kwesi Robinson. And I can't remember, what's Travis? Travis is name. So Travis is also gone. It's an interesting development in Tunapuna Piako there. We'll see how well. I will say no more on that. It's an interesting development. Needless to say. But congratulations to all of these folks. The work now starts. Do you have any other corporations, right? 6.14 Diego Martin Arima, Port of Spain, San Juan Lavantel, Tunapuna Piako. What's the other two? Anyway, so congratulations to all of these folks. Just now. Right. Alderman list, Derek King. Okay, so that's it there for Well, from what I'm seeing in the Express today with respect to now, I just wanted to as I said, I'm not going to be that long this morning. As I always sit down and is done. Yeah. Where is Anil Roberts? Anybody can tell me? I have been visiting the Facebook page of Doglaya Politics since Monday, and Mr. Roberts has gone uncharacteristically quiet. Had the results gone different, and that's how you know when they disappoint. Well, we know they're disappointed in the results, right? But if you really want to know if the UNC disappointed in Monday, check Anil Roberts' page. Not a doubles and coffee, not a Doglaya Politics, no commentary whatsoever. He had nothing to say. He was one of them who all the time boasting. Yeah, they can't put a lick in. Rowley, call the election. Ain't your name, man? Call the election. Yeah, ain't you brave? And you figure, well, the PNM thing, well, call the election and we go show all your election call. Well, you force the Prime Minister hand an election call. And what happened, Anil? Ask Anil. What happened, Anil? Where the cut tail all you promised us, Anil? Where the cut tail? Apparently, the membership and the supporters of the UNC, they didn't get a memo because you all were supposed to give the PNM a cut tail, a run for the money. Where is this cut tail, Anil? You can't even take 5 minutes out of your day to do a doubles and coffee? Or is it that you lost your appetite as a result of the Monday night, Anil? So you eat and drink no doubles and no coffee for the last 4 days. Today's Tuesday, Anil. What's going on? You're only posting up a set of videos and pictures with some swimming tournament. Really? Even when you went the other day as assistant coach for some other swimming tournament, you were finding time out of your very busy schedule, doubles and coffee. Every minute you're doing nothing, Anil? Nothing to come and gloating around and tell me about who he's sleeping with and special branch, and you had to walk down the corridor, pass 2 apparat and 3 dog and go down some steps into a dungeon and lie down on a red couch. You see, that is all that kind of stupid talk. That kind of dotish talk is what cost all your money. Continue to talk that and talk about small pin and tight shoes and tight pants and minister man. That is the kind of dotish talk that cost all you. That is what pushes away people. Nobody interested in your parties because of people like you. Give us a doubles and coffee now, Anil. We want to hear what is your take on Monday. The cocktail that you say all your party was going to put on the PNM. Wait. Like you all didn't get the memo, the election was Monday. If you guys, is Monday coming? No, sir. It was Monday gone. We waiting. Where the cocktail? Who really get the cocktail? You know what? Because you pull up in a corner. What else you go do? Yeah? You'll only rubbing your ball head. Sweating. Eh? You're sweating like a prostitute. Sweating. Eh? You're sweating like a prostitute with a yeast infection. What you could do? Nothing. What else you all could do? No, seriously. What else you all could do? Absolutely nothing. You have nobody to partner with in 2025. And with all the work that you all did over the last years, it still couldn't help you. What now? The only place the PNM could go from here is up. Identify, and we will identify all the shortcomings and work with the party to fix that. Right? The paving start. And it's going to continue. It is going to continue. The Prime Minister had said, we have some fiscal space now, a little money that we can afford to put it out and pave the roads. Camden Road pave and Couva North. Where the MP? Couva South. Where is this one? Where's his name? Where's his name again? Man, I can't take. I hate to hear this man talk. Rudy Indarsing. Your road pave, Rudy. The other day you come with placard and all kind of thing and protesting road. Well, your road pave. You come out to thank the government? No. Well, if I was the PNM, I pave road in all your constituency like that. Pave road and listen, all the UNC constituencies just going to pave road like mad. Get them one less thing to run them out about. So they can't go and protest. So you're going to protest for good road? And say the PNM trying, so what? You'll protest to say what the PNM trying to curry favor? That's what you're going to do? Pave road like mad in all your constituencies. And you'll see, watch, for the next 2 years, all you want road pave, all you're going to get road pave. Just now, work's supposed to start on the Miaro and the Manzanilla Road. That too will fix. The highway to Toko, that too will be completed. Number of infrastructural projects that the PNM currently has in train will be completed over the course of the next 2 years. Port of Spain General Hospital will be complete. Sangre Grande General Hospital will be complete. We'll have a whole list of projects to rub in all your face for the next 2 years. What do you have to say? You feel nothing going to happen in the next 2 years? All you want infrastructure, all you go take infrastructure in the next 2 years. What do you complain again? About what? Also, all you could complain about. Not enough jobs? Well, all you came with that, all you beat that like a rented mule for the last 3 years and it didn't help you. The cost of living, you beat that too like a steel pan. That didn't help all you. So you're coming back in 2025 it was stand your ground and FUL. But don't worry, hopefully within the space of the next few months, things can work out where Dr. Rolly will have an opportunity to lay the report with respect to that FUL matter. Yeah? No. That court matter that Gary bring, that injunction, don't worry, that too will be treated with. Hopefully that too will be dispensed with before 2025. So when I hear Gary talking about the NTA, a party that is just 1 year old, and we were able to narrow the gap in a lot of these districts with the PNM, and we know really? Let me remind Gary, in 2013, local government election, the ILP was less than 6 months old, got 104,000 votes. 104,000 votes at less than 6 months old. Where is the ILP today? Where is the ILP today? Under 6 feet of dirt in the political cemetery. The COP, 147,000 votes in 2007. Where is the COP today? Where are they? You get 16,000 votes. Where is the constituency, the COP constituency of 147,000 people that you said were desperate for a party, desperate for a home, that you were courting? Where were they? Gary, you get 16,000 votes. And most of those are probably UNC supporters who didn't mind voting for you. Yeah, make a note. After 1 year, it's just like when you had the Alliance of Independence. That went nowhere. And the problem with third parties, yeah, they make a little something in a local election, whatever, and then after that, they fizzle out. And the fact that you need to have this symbiotic relationship with the UNC in order for that party to grow tells you something. And as we continue, as persons were saying on the program last night, you need to continue to highlight why the UNC must never return to office. That even out of office, they're still crooked and corrupt. Out of office, they still be before the courts in this country. David Lee, still before the court. And we will continue to remind people. And I want to say, Ramona Rambial, let me touch on that. I say she going back on the bandwagon of criticizing Kamala and Kamala is a serial loser and so on. Ramona, I used to follow you up until I saw that picture a couple of weeks ago where you was walking with Jack and Gary in Five Rivers and Aruka. Ramona. All the time, for the last 3 years, you're calling Kamala Pasabi says someone must go on her leadership, this and whatnot. But you come back to work with Gary and Jack in Five Rivers, Ramona. Because they say, come back home. And you think Chin up Fuad can say, well, if Gary and Jack could mend fences, I can too. IKHAN. Well, you see Fuad can anyway. He talk that talk, right? He throw out a little corn for them, and then Fuad going back. He laughing. Fuad then come out no way he walk with nobody. I ain't see no picture with it. I ain't hear nothing after that. But Ramona jump out herself and get caught in picture. So if it is that they had won, you would have been happy to come back under Kamala's leadership because you think, hey, Jack come back and they have Gary now, so the UNC have hope. So let me see if I could squeeze back in, Ramona. Really? So now that flop, you jump back out and going back criticizing Kamala and Kamala's leadership. Ramona, you can't be serious. You cannot be. You're disappointment. I'm very disappointed, Ramona. You could have done better than that. Anyway, UNC. Any port for a storm. Now I'm seeing something here. Shane Mohammed. Now forgive me, I did not see, I understand that he would have made some comments with respect to Dr. Rowley needing to change his looks and his whole behavior and his attitude and a number of things, and he's getting some licks for that. Somebody told me he would have been interviewed on TV6 the other night. I think it was Tuesday night or something, but I didn't see it. I've been trying to get a clip of it. If anybody has it, please feel free to send it to me. But if in fact what is reported is that he said, anyway, I'll wait till I get a clip and I see it for myself, and then I will speak to this issue of Shane Mohammed. But I see that his doctorate is now in question, where this university that he claims to have gotten his doctorate from appears to be another, what do you call it? Those certificate mills now, like where Rambachan went and get his doctorate to call himself Dr. Rambachan, and it was a full-up university, and plenty of them who sporting doctorates. Same thing. They wouldn't go through because they know they can't make an UE to do their dissertation and so on. So they're looking for these fly-by-night institutions that's selling doctorate like that. Yeah. But as I said, I will reserve comment on him until I see the clip. Interestingly enough, I would have thought that by now somebody would have sent it in one of the group chats that I'm in. We're going on with PNM War Room, PNM Warriors. I ain't seen it in there. Maybe it's there and I didn't see it. But I will check and see, because I've been so busy doing a whole set of things, haven't had time. Yeah. We see the time there. That's always happening. Fali, this latest clip, this audio clip going around with Akil Abdullah. We told you all Akil Abdullah was a madman, eh? We told you all that. Well, anyway, all you know that. But Fali stood by what Akil said. Right? You come in the house and play clip, video with you and Akil making all kind of allegations that he was in a meeting with the Prime Minister and so on. Now in the latest clip, Akil is saying, no, that ain't true. I did not meet with the Prime Minister. I did not meet with the Minister. Interesting. And again, according to the Doglaya and the Roberts, when Fali played that clip, you couldn't wait to put yourself to do doubles and coffee and Doglaya Politics Live to say Rowley accused that this and that and whatnot, and they're calling for police investigation and PNM corruption. Now, the very same man who made those claims, right, which resulted in you calling for investigation, has now recanted and said that he was coerced into saying those things. Are you going to call for an investigation, Anil? Mrs. Prasad Bisesa? Because you spoke about that on your Monday night forum and you found it to be very troubling and concerning, and you wanted an investigation. Are you going to call for an investigation now? Of course not. All you're going to stay quiet, right? It's all you have nothing to say. Because you hit your wagon to that man. Let me see if I get this thing in. So I was supposed to play that last night on the program, but because I opened the lines for calls, I think I'm probably going to do that more often now. One night for the week, I just try and do the program by myself and to allow for persons to call it, because it was well received last night. And I must say to all of we didn't have many of the usual callers. We had a lot of new people. So congratulations to them. Let me get this here. Just now, eh? So Akil said he was prompted. And we raised this issue when, in the clip, when Akil said Rowley lawyer. He couldn't remember the name of Rowley lawyer, but the first person that came to mind for Fali was Gilbert Peterson. Right? How? I don't know. Because if somebody tell me Dr. Rowley lawyer, I have not heard, right? So Constance is saying, before this rules up, Constance is saying, count me in as a team member to work. Certainly Constance, Hercules, all right. So as I said, folks who are interested in joining the team that we'll be putting together really to do the work, please WhatsApp us on 7701763 so we can take note of your names, which will be forwarded to the chairman of the party, Stuart Young, as the team is put together. Right. Let me get this here. I mean, it's a little muffled there, but I am not surprised at all. And I think Fali put out some lengthy statement there Anyway, let me see if I got this thing here. Right, just now. It's supposed to be in here. Hmm.
Called me. I did tell them some stuff, but other stuff they prompted me to say those things, like the things that were actually not true. I never met with the prime minister. They prompted me to say those things with love, and that when I was there, I was surprised that they wanted me to say those things. Yeah, they prompted me to even say those things. However, I did tell them that I met with Chadban, and they prompted me to say, well, okay, if you met with him, can you say, well, you know, if you get a large sum of money, and they suggested, you know, 270 or something $1,000, and so on, so on, and so on. Some guys caught me and they boxed me up in my face. Right, that was one. Another time, they ran me off the road, picked me up from out of the drain that I, you know, dashed myself into, and told me to comply when they asked me to do a couple of things. They outlined a couple of things, and I just was released and they went with it. So they reached out to me and prohibited me from reaching out to the police. I was threatened twice. But then it was a physical thing. So when I went down at Trinidad, they did ask me if my life was threatened. I did give the police that information. So they knew that I was threatened, right? And they did offer to put me in witness protection. And the way how they described witness protection to me, it was not favorable. They sent someone to check on my phone.
Right, so that is Akil Abdullah who was saying that he was coerced into saying the things that he said. Right, he was prompted by Fali to say certain things. And for those of us who would have seen that clip with Fali, um, as I mentioned earlier, when Akil couldn't seem to remember the name of the prime minister's attorney, at the drop of a hat, Fali said Gilbert Peterson and proceeded to pull up a picture of Gilbert Peterson and show the man. Say, "Is the man?" And Akil said, "Yeah, that's the man." Right? Now, I've always heard um, that Dr. Rowley's attorney is Michael Comener, who is the chairman of Heritage, I think. Heritage or one of them. Yeah. So and I'm a little more involved in it than. So the first name that would come to my mind would not be Gilbert Peterson, but Chief Secretary Fali Augustine would have responded. So let me get this here. Chief Secretary, the Honorable Fali Augustine, vehemently denies any suggestion that he or aides, upon his instruction, forced or coerced whistleblower Akil Abdullah into a confession about the bribery and conspiracy that led to a police investigation into members of the THA. There is irrefutable evidence of the several attempts made by Mr. Abdullah to have a meeting with the Chief Secretary. These requests came via WhatsApp messages, text messages, and calls to the office of the Chief Secretary. Making the request weeks before a meeting was eventually granted. In fact, those requests for meetings started in April of 2023, and the Chief Secretary only agreed to a meeting in July of 2023. Further, how would one explain the occasions that Mr. Abdullah visited Victor Ebru's complex uninvited and demanded to see the Chief Secretary? Mr. Abdullah showed up at the Victor Ebru's complex on July the 3rd, 2023, seeking a meeting and was not facilitated. The Chief Secretary was not present at the office. He again visited the Victor Ebru's complex on July 7th, 2023 at 11:16 a.m. What by Fali? Are you taking real good records by? I hope you took good records of the minutes of the meeting that led to AudioGate, right? I hope what was said in that meeting is properly recorded in proper minutes because it was a meeting of the THA executive. Okay? We continue. Right. Seeking to meet with the chief secretary urgently. Only then did the chief secretary, who was out of office, agree to meet with him for the very first time for 30 minutes at the residence. So why didn't meet with him in your office? You tell him at the residence, so you just invite man to your house just so, Fali? Yes, sir? So this man, you're saying for weeks, this man trying to meet with you in your office. He didn't come by your house. In your office. And you tell him now, and after all of that, relenting, well, you relented and tell the man, come home by me. Yeah, check my home now. Your office now. You don't come in the office. I will come home. I'm not casting any aspersions on people. I just find it strange that after you resisted meeting with the man coming by your office for so long, you tell him come home. Anyway, um, the chief secretary is also in possession of records of the request that came for a follow-up meeting, which eventually took place on July 12, 2023, sorry. Was this another meeting at the residence, Fali? Or did this one take place at your office? The chief secretary confidently attests that there is more than sufficient evidence to refute any claim that Mr. Abdullah was forced to meet with him. The man never said he was forced to meet with you. The man said is that what he's saying is that you all prompted him to say certain things. That is what he is saying. This supposed audio, this supposed audio recording currently in circulation comes subsequent to newspaper articles where Mr. Abdullah had said he felt threatened after his statements to the chief secretary were revealed in the House of Assembly. Moreover, this back and forth and inconsistency forces one to ask the most important question. How is it that the TTPS predicate their case on this witness? Gosh, Fali, get somebody to write proper English now. Seriously, all that money all you're spending, the patrial lawyers that you pay to review the TPP's constitution. Never mind the fact that all you don't have a bank account. And we still asking questions. How did you pay this battery of lawyers? Where did the money come from? Did you have a financier or was it THA money? But no, I find nobody asking that question. But I want to know. Is there is listening? He goes on to say, moreover, where is it? Yeah. Since the revelations made in the House of Assembly on July 19, 2023, and the revelation by the Prime Minister on July 20, 2023, that Mr. Abdullah was in fact the state witness, the Chief Secretary has refuted or refused all attempts by Mr. Abdullah and his agents for meetings or phone conversations. Also, the Chief Secretary has instructed his staff not to respond to any of Mr. Abdullah's electronic messages or his phone calls. So after you invite the man home for tea, you're treating him like that, Fali. Come now, man. You know it's you. Netflix and chill. The Chief Secretary is deeply concerned that to date, no independent inquiry into Mr. Abdullah's claims have been made, and that there may be several individuals seeking to tamper with a potential state witness. I wonder if you included them. It must be then surmised that this is yet another political attempt to create mischief and distraction to the work of the Tobago House of Assembly. Oh, so apparently Mr. Abdullah is only pliable to the PNM. Only the PNM could coerce him into saying things that he don't want to say. Not you, Fali. Well, if he's so open to being coerced by the PNM, we still asking the question. The man come by your office, knocking door. Good day. The Chief Secretary. Good day. I would like to make an appointment to see the Chief Secretary. Good day. I'm a constituent, a burgess of the Chief Secretary. I would like to see him in his capacity as my what is assemblyman, please. The man is entitled. You are the Chief Secretary. When Ole was campaigning, you were open to talking to every and anybody. Ole giving out all the number to all and sundry. Now Ole are taking calls. You are taking calls. Fali. The man come to see you. So anybody, why it is you didn't want to meet with him? So are you saying to me that any Tobagonian who come to the office of the Chief Secretary and say, I would like to speak with the Chief Secretary, because I'm certain Mr. Abdullah didn't say to your assistant, well, I'm here to give the Chief Secretary some information with respect to so and so, right? He just came and made an appointment. And you say for weeks you didn't want to talk to him. Why you didn't want to talk to him, Fali? I ask him that question. Why? So if another Tobagonian come and say, well, I would like a meeting with the Chief Secretary, where are you going to say, you're not meeting with them too? So, and you don't know what they come to talk to you about? When is your office day? Could they come to your office when you're serving as an assemblyman and you just sit down and hear the complaints of your constituents, Fali? I concerned why it is you didn't want to meet the man. What's your history with him? I don't imply nothing. I just say, if somebody come and you, did you say, well, why do you want to meet with me? You even say, well, all right, take a number now. When you come back, take a number, I'll give him a call and find out what it is you want. I just find it passing strange that instead of meeting him and you obviously tell him come to the residence. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You have a discussion over, I said Netflix and chill a little. Anyway, let me behave myself this morning now, folks. I told you all I have a early morning. Let me not go down that road. So 7701763. And for those of you Netflix and chill, let me watch TV and we talk, eh? Right. So get all your mind out the gutter. I didn't say nothing. Say nothing at all, not me. Let me change this thing here. Morning Angie. Morning to Mother Tunapuna. Morning Jenny, Mr. Chance, Mr. Yates. Good morning to all of you guys. Mr. Chance, what's going on with you? Well done in Tunapuna Piako. I don't know the final count, but I know we still have some work to do there, and you and your team are doing yeoman service, and I trust that the party will give you the support you need as we go forward. 2025. Yeah, because we ain't given David at Naked any chance to get inside it. No way, no day. 7011763. That is the number for you to call. It's taking so long to connect. I'm going to call us this morning. I'm going to tell you. So Dr. DCA says surpassing strain. Fali was able to respond to this. It took almost 4 weeks to respond to the audio gate. Indeed. But the proof of the man trying to meet his means, trying to meet him, means that he didn't coerce him. John Charles says. He did say that Fali played the video statements Fali made were not entirely true. Indeed. Come on, I'm doing this. So. Let me see. Nice. What else we have here? Dr. DCA is saying this Aki guy seems to be a psychotic. He is very delusional. I'll take anything he said with a spoon of salt. Agreed. His credibility is shot. But if there's one thing we know, he's saying what he's saying now contradicts what was said before. It means that one out of the two had to be true. It's either he was lying then or he lying now. But we don't know. And I'm saying more projects to rub in their face and they can't handle that. That is correct, Annette. There will be a lot of infrastructure projects taking place between now and 2025, which would only improve the PNM standing. Major infrastructure projects, that is. I trust that they would continue for us at least with the road paving exercise, because that's one of the biggest complaints they have. So get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Man, pave road like all they're going mad. And if they want to come and protest, pave them too. You're taking no nonsense from them. See what else we have here. Hyacinth is saying, I personally find that Akil was not credible from the beginning. Fali has no wisdom. He tried so anxiously to sink Dr. Rowley in his mayhem. Yes. Dr. DCA is saying, congratulations to Nigel Freitas. Yes, congratulations to Nigel de Freitas, President of the Senate, who yesterday was appointed acting President of the Republic. The absence of Her Excellency, the President of the Republic. Oh God. No. Good morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Dominic.
Yes, sir.
Last night, I heard a lady told you that the PNM is a movement.
Yes.
I would rather, if you say that, the PNM is a movement, that to say the PNM is an institution.
The PNM is an institution.
Because remember, I want to jog your memory,
Remember what Dr. Rowley said? The PNM is a mafia, Dominic.
I don't remember Dr. Rowley saying
The
that.
PNM is a mafia.
I don't remember Dr. Rowley saying that.
And if you break ground, we will kill you politically. And he went on the Tobago in secret, Dominic. Ask Jenny, ask all of them. Oh, you didn't hear that one, Dominic?
I didn't hear Dr. Rowley say the PNM is no harm. No harm. Listen. Make your point.
Dr. Rowley, when you meet him.
All right, I'll ask him that.
The PNM is a mafia, Dominic.
I never heard Dr. Rowley say that. Are you aware?
Dominic, everybody here when Dr. Rowley said it.
I did not hear Dr. Rowley say no such things. But anyway.
Ask all of them who go call it this morning. Ask all of them.
All right, no problem.
They will tell you.
All right.
The PNM is a movement, not a mafia.
No, it's an institution.
I will leave it here.
Thank you. This mine is something else, you know. Let's know. Let me just change this here. Right. So, hello, good morning. So, hello, morning. Hello, Mr. Yates, you there? Why am I not hearing this? Hello, good morning. I don't know what happened there. Let me. Hold on. Right. Just leave it there. You know you're real bacchanalist. You're real bacchanalist. Tell me where I could find that clip of Dr. Rowley said the PNM is a mafia. Please. Yeah, really. Anyway. You see? Look, you're taking licks on the chat. So, get this here. Okay. That's not it. Hold on, folks, just now. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Mr. Yates, go ahead.
Hello?
Why this not going through? Just now, folks, just now. Just now. Right. So I'm just switching between devices and so on. Yeah, just now. Hold on, caller. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Good morning, Doc.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, Doc.
Morning.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. I enjoyed the program last night. It was very, very good. And of course, each program before with Mr. Weatherby.
Yes.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And you keep growing, eh?
Yes.
I hope that you get your contingent of people. I know you say that you have a phone and you're looking for younger people to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, I think the same lady who spoke to you some days ago, I think she called last night.
I believe so. I believe that was her.
All right. Yeah, I think you need to stick to that quicker. Anyhow, two things. Congratulations to the winners. The PNM, I see that they don't set up who's mayor and who's deputy leader, deputy mayor. But I think the talking point is going to be right now the new mayor for Arima.
Yes.
I know that definitely will raise eyebrows. You know? Everybody who by Rama Rajas.
Yes.
Right. To my mind, and let's face it, it's not a 1%. It's not what you call a 1%. Dominic.
Right.
You have what you call the high-ranking national folk East Indians, like Richie Sukai.
Yes.
And Faratara family, the Sukans. very prominent families and influential too in the area.
Yes.
So it's a matter of time to see what you hear. The other side will have to say if they don't call Mr. Balaram
Well,
for joining with PNM, because Mr. From what I understand, Mr. Balaram is a very influential person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of time they have to see if they're brave enough to association.
Yes.
Right. So it's only a matter. Let's see, because I know that the marriage is a very prominent family in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too, yeah, I want you to view that thing with Mr. Shane Mohammed, because I find he's very disrespectful.
Yes.
To Dr. Rowley. He's very fast out of his. And we had to question his doctorate in political science too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he really think he could be run off the mill.
Yes.
Another thing, this is the same Shane Mohammed who went up to support the PDP in the campaign a couple of years ago. I don't know if that is the same individual. Whatever it is that they think that he's a proxy at UNC.
Yes.
Another thing too, we have to find out the ratio of East Indian to African, because my take on this whole thing is, at the end of the day, the UNC will always have a base, a very large popular vote base.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find out what is the ratio thing, because from my understanding, they said that the Easterns are numbers for about 2 to 1. I don't know how to do it, because right now they have this so-called mixed race, and sometimes the mixed race will be more Africans than us, but they still categorize them as mixed.
Yes.
So that's another thing we have to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's very controversial, because some people go say, well, balance 50-50, but you know, they talk down that they don't more understand. Maybe that is the reason why you hear them talking, talking us on the other side. That could be another factor too. And when you look at Sandy Gandhi too, the demographics and that they're changing. So we have to take that into account as well, Dominic.
Right.
All right?
Indeed.
So we have to think about it.
Yes.
And not only in Sandy Gandhi too, in other parts of the country, the demographics are slowly changing. And I think that is something that the party has to be concerned too. We also take into account the influx of Venezuelans too. So in the next 20 or 30 years, we don't know, the population might be changed.
There's that, yeah.
But I want to love to hear what you're going to say to them.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. So let me just see this here. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Morning.
Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. Oh boy, I don't know why Mr. Yates not. Right. Just give me a second. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Yates, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I don't know why you're not hearing me. What is going on with this thing? I just saw. Folks, give me 1 sec. 1 sec. Let me adjust this switch here. I really want to hear Mr. Yates' contribution, so that's not. Hold on, Eric. That's not. I don't know why it's not why you're not hearing me. Yes, sir. Morning. Yeah. All right. So let me just put you back on now. On loudspeaker. Yeah. Right. So, okay, you can go ahead now.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
I think there's a mix-up between YouTube and the telephone. So it really wouldn't make much sense because...
Yeah, we're hearing you. Loud and clear. You can go ahead. Yeah.
You go now. It's an understatement to say that it is a very, very sad situation, because it is the essence of selfishness as a human being that is taking place in Tobago right now.
Yes.
Because what I am seeing from my own simple analysis is something based on hubris, but also based on fear. Also based on fear. Because I think Augustine is sensing that the legal political walls may very well be closing in on him. Because if you follow his statements these days, it is rooted in hysteria.
Yes.
It's hysteria and fear, mortal fear. Because in his position, he may get little insiders as to what is going on in police headquarters. May.
Yes.
And I think he strongly, as it stands now, he feels that things could be at a critical point in terms of the investigations. And when the investigations are completed, the investigating officers, led by DCP Simon, will pass the file to the DPP for appropriate action, if any. If any. And Fali is facing terror now that goes beyond his position as just Chief Secretary of Frederick Street. Because he knows what he has done. He knows the collusion that has taken place. And if you listen to the hysterical remarks these days, you will find all institutions in this country.
Yes.
Including, you see, people. There are people in Tobago who have misled and misdirected this little boy and have inadvertently led him into the valley of death. Because what is happening, between he and Trevor James, they are threatening everybody.
Yes.
Because what is happening, licensing officers, they have gone to Tobago and have been locked out of the office. Locked. What is this? It's not going to be very nice. I'm quoting, we will drag the point of people's homes, people who are connected to the assembly. And so you are throwing down the gauntlet to the police service of Trinidad and Tobago. Trevor James, also from Trinidad, are not welcome in Tobago. His words, not mine. They are not welcome at Crown Point. Security there will turn you away and send you back to Trinidad. Because you are not welcome to come to Tobago to do any police work over here. So little officers, little estate constables from the airport authority could watch policemen, and from Trinidad, who are legitimately here in Tobago on the business of Trinidad and Tobago. What you are telling them, you are using little constable and corporal. The two have more authority than the policemen of Trinidad, and you're going to send them back? Who are you? And Tobago. This is what you are telling me, and you're going to send them. Who are you? Who are you to reserve that kind of case? In any case, a friend alerted me to the fact. Now, I am not a lawyer, but if for me there are any grounds for a lawsuit, this is it. Because you are imputing improper motives, actually telling the population that is in collusion with PNM, and she's taking orders from Dr. Rowley. Something is very wrong about that. Apart from the disrespectfulness, you are accusing a woman of taking orders from the political directorate. Young, fast, out of place. Let me let somebody else get it, and thank you very much. Young, fast, out of place. Let me let somebody else get it, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What is his name, man? This other political scientist who would have written probably suffering from hubris syndrome. Similar to what Donald Trump is going, but really and truly, we know you're frightened. We know you're scared, Fali, but you put yourself in this. So you're trying to rally Tobago now to make it seem, Malay, they're coming after me. And when they come after me, it's all of us they coming after because this declaration Tobago is at war. What war? War with who? When that war came about? Only when Olia came in office. Had no problems before. Yeah? But Tobago was warned. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Romain.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to all the viewers and the listeners of the program this morning. Mr. Yates, as usual, you always hit the nail on the head. The principle of politics, Mr. Yates and Mr. Chant. Now, Dominic, it ain't surprise to me the behavior Fale is portraying at present.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, right, I think if what you do was still in that party, although what you do might have his own way and whatever, or he does see these as part or whatever. I think personally that if he was there, none of this foolishness would have been taking place. Brian, if he put Fale there,
yes.
he mounted Fale and put him there. So that is the result we begin at present. Now, Fale feel that he's a law unto himself, because you are a chief secretary, right? Right? Dr. Rowley is the prime minister. There's two different roles and functions there, right? So Fale is operating as if he is just himself, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And don't think you listen to the laws they had, I think what is Sunday or the Saturday or sometime, and the song that we would have sang on that launch. Who would sing a song as Blessed Assurance? Blessed Assurance. I used to listen to that. I say, Blessed Assurance. I say, but that is a song people sing in funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in contrast to the one that they would have, that the UNC Monday Night Formation owners would have had the choir. The choir that the choir from this man church singing this song too. It's a funeral song. Yes, no, right? Oh gosh. I think it's Drew, you know this song, man. It's a song that they sing for funeral boy.
What song is that, boy? I know.
Oh God. But anyway, that is to show you that they are already dead, but they're just trying to be resurrected. You understand? So people, I think, hold on there. I'm calling back there.
All right. Me or the other person? All right. Yeah, so I guess we can take a couple more calls. As I said, I have to run early. There was a comment I saw I wanted to touch on. Right. Debbie, I think Debbie Maki was saying that Akil Abdullah was on a program last night with Bank and Skippy Thomas, and it didn't go to script. Hyacinth is saying, if there must go 91.9 Iowa station where all of a sudden people cannot say anything good about the PNM. She's so happy that Dominic has their stream. Yes. Sean Charles says, imagine the PNM is playing cricket with 11 players. The UNC comes with 25 and the game tied. And they're celebrating, but it seems we're beating up our players. Yes. Indeed. Hyacinth said, I watched how UNC, NTA, PEP, PDP, and the media fought against one institution, the PNM, and still was not victorious. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dominic.
Hi.
Is the show still on?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I mean, you're a good leader.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I mean, you're a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah, if you're a good leader and somebody came to you with the information that Mr. Abdullah came to Mr. Fale with, to
now it seems as though he's taking Mr. Abdullah forced the information on it.
Yes.
And he couldn't do any research. He just had to come out. I mean, what kind of leader is that?
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Dominic. The show last night was wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
As they say, it just gets curiouser and curiouser as we go deeper down the rabbit hole. How far down this rabbit hole is Fali prepared to go? Because right now, he just holding on for their life, trying to throw everybody under the bus. But my biggest concern is this narrative that he's trying to push, that it is the central government, the authorities in Trinidad that are against all of Tobago. So they're coming up and victimizing Tobagonians and all of these different things. If you're saying to me that Tobagonians, some of them are afraid to go out on the road when Trinidad police have roadblock. If it is, your papers and everything is in order, what are you afraid of? But you see, you have people with expired driver's licenses, people who don't have insurance on their vehicles and so on, operating up along the road. And when it is that you are trying to defend such persons, you are holding lawlessness, Fali. As the chief secretary for Tobago, you are holding lawlessness. And all these antics you and Trevor James come in with, right? Shutting down the office when officers come up and all of this kind of crazy thing. It begs the question, what is you really trying to hide? But your day is coming. Hello, good morning.
Hey, morning, bro.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, how things, man?
All is
I see that superstar now, but you're all over the place, man.
All over,
but listen, yeah, that's good. But I think you could call yourself a political analyst now.
Yeah.
Man who have an accredited degree from Atlantic International University, that's not even accredited by the U.S. Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
To call himself as a political analyst and so on. Right, brother? I think your analysis is more insightful and unbiased than the one he has proffered to us the last couple of days and so on. I've had my fellow gentleman.
Yes.
But on the matters that you discussed this morning, about the turnout, for the past weeks, look how long or those of us who have been calling here on other platforms harangued our people to go out and do the right thing.
Yes.
So when I saw the results and so on, I wasn't really surprised, but I did my part because I had my 18-year-old, he voted and he was happy. When I asked him about his other cohorts, people of his age, he said no, they didn't vote. And say, when I started school them, daddy, and show them why they should have voted, then they said they came around, but it was after the fact. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that our area was a resounding, like Diego Martin was a resounding win for the PNM. You know, when you see the fact that people lose by 11 votes and less than 100 and so on, it just goes to show that, if people had come out and did what they're supposed to do. Like I explained to one of my neighbors, I say, listen, I know that you hold your bank account and the access to your bank card very close to your chest. And therefore you wouldn't trust anyone else to go and do a transaction on your behalf unless especially if somebody who is not a relative. And even if it's a relative, you have to be circumspect for some of them as well.
Yes.
But there's the question of trust and so on. I say, and this is how people should view their exercising their franchise. Why would I want to leave their exercising their franchise? Why would I want to leave my destiny and that of my generation to other people when I also have the opportunity? You understand what I'm saying? And San Fernando and even San Uganda, and it pained me to hear the utterance of Mr. Rondon then in Sandy Grande. But for me, I really think that was a vote against the Minister of Works because of the situation with the road to Manzanilla. You understand? Because even though it has changed hands and Mr. Change, the work still has to be carried on. The work that is going on. These people talking about, it's not like the government is not making efforts to improve the communication situation via the road network, but everything takes time. It's a matter of patience, but work is being done at pace, like you and other people, to convince the population. And I would say, if somebody like Wendell Eversley, right, we interviewed, who is diametrically opposed to the PNM, because they recognize and give the government kudos for the good that it's doing, even though fundamentally, politically, he's opposed to them. All the government has to do is to go out there and sell themselves. And I'm saying in these next few months, leading up to the general election time, the Prime Minister and other senior members of cabinet has to have more, and particularly in things that will directly impact. I would exhort them to continue to do that, and also have a thrust at the youth. I will also have a thrust at the youth. Minister of Education, Mr. Stuart Young, and Mr. Foster Cummings, that come to the fore and to get these young and what is being done for and on their behalf, so that they do this dumb process of engaging on themselves. So even if you hear it in any conversation or official announcement from the government agencies or government ministers, that's a simple thing to do. So I'm saying going forward, I hope that the suggestion to educate people will be taken on board, and the conversation by the Prime Minister and other members of the cabinet will continue, especially more so as they roll out over the next few years. Because mark my words, I am sure the instruction will already be given to those to stymie the efforts at reform. And there are some pushback, and they have to come out in public and be vocal.
Yes.
That's part of the challenge as well. So take care, my brother, and continue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so I could probably take two more quick calls. Let me see what we have here. With Skippy and Akil. Ian says, I went on. We jumped in the car. My daughter voted in San Juan. My son voted in La Pastora, Santa Cruz. And their mom voted in Santa Cruz RC School. Right. Sean is saying, when I ask what do you mean the PNM are doing nothing for me, they're looking for free money, not programs or policies. And that's one of the biggest problems that we face with. Everybody wants to borough work and a corporation work. They finish work 10 o'clock and they have the rest of the day to relax, and whatever money they get at the end of the month, they adjust their lifestyles to that. Nicky James says the people of Tobago will hold their heads and ball in shame. Marie Fali, all they see is our wee boy, but not the dirty pampers. My word. I agree with you wholly there, Nicky. Proud of them. And all of the PNM is indeed proud of them. Right? So Cambridge Analytica did not work in this. What the plan was with respect to that. Convince the African children not to vote. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dominic.
Morning, sir. Morning.
Yes. So, as here we are again. And the election, again, I would say it's over. Time for us to rest and reflect and go out there and get the jobs done. Now everyone is thinking about looking towards the general election. But we have to refocus, try to understand what was meant by the electorate, by the choices that they've made, and allow us to do the work that is before us. With respect to Tobago, as I said, you will see things happening that, to most don't make any sense. I am a critical thinker, and all those critical thinkers out there would know that you don't consume yourself with the body of things that you see around you. You look beyond it and to see if there's a way back with the body of things that you see around you. You look beyond it and to see if there's a way back from it. So with regards to Farley and his behaviors, the only thing to correct that, control, and if we depend on where we see no action in all the difficult situations that we've had in the past. And if we're waiting on the police who are doing the investigating to return their information to the so-called DPP for his decision, you know how I feel about that already.
Yes.
And they took the oath of office. It's up to them, if they see wrongdoing, to arrest it.
Yes.
And bring it in front of a court and let the court then decide going forward. This so-called body of people, whole country, Trinidad and Tobago, so what's something that we know? But anyway, Mr. Dominic, you're a person I'm looking up to.
Thank you.
I'm seeing good things ahead for you. All the things that you're trying to expose.
Yes.
Cheers. I thank
Right. So, folks, as I said, I have to jump out, but you could join me later on the real issues. I am yet to confirm my guest. I won't call his name. In case he can't make it, I know he's a busy individual, but we try our best to get as many persons who are in the know and who can provide us with the information that we need in order to enlighten persons, especially and based on last night's show, I've come to the realization that we have a lot of UNC persons who view the program, because before I come on, you have this Saeed Ali, I think is his name, real talk or something like that, and it's bash the government, and then when I'm done, you have the replay of Ian Allen bash government again, right? So I'm sandwiched between these two persons. So UNC watching before and after. It seems so on that station is more prone towards the UNC. So they have a strong UNC viewership, which is perhaps why last week the UNC decided to buy out last week Wednesday and Thursday to carry and to broadcast their meeting, but also they didn't like the information that is getting out. But we will continue to get the information out there. So join me later. If my guest is unable to show, I'll try and see if I could convince Jenny to join me so that we can hear her perspective with respect to the election results and so on. Or if not, well, it'll just be me again, and you would have the opportunity to call in and see you again, and you would have the opportunity to call in and see your piece. So you could actually be my co-hosts. Hyacinth is saying, I saw UNC NTA PEP PD institution. Yes. Sean Charles says the PNM needs to do a weekly meeting and go toe-to-toe with the Monday night forum, in the lives of the UNC. Very true. Very, very true, Sean. Even if they don't have meetings weekly, have it fortnightly, because it shouldn't be something that PNM people, we don't have a schedule, manna from heaven, as I've said before. It's 2 years left to our general election, and if Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar is unsuccessful in this general election, for sure, I don't think she will be around in 2030, because by then she'll be pushing 80 years old, and she's already struggling physically. No, she would not be able. And if it is the UNC, she loses in 2025, and they still choose to keep faith with her, is unsuccessful in this general election, for sure, I don't think she will be around in 2030, because by then she'll be pushing 80 years old, and she's already struggling physically. No, she would not be able. And if it is the UNC, she loses in 2025, and they still choose to keep faith with her and keep her as their leader. We love opposition, and we love for you. Let me change that. We don't even want to in opposition. Let me change that. We don't even want to in opposition. Let me change that. We don't even want to in opposition. We don't even want to let it. It's an opposition party, but they take it to the extreme. But the PNM has the wherewithal and has what it takes to ensure. But the PNM has the wherewithal and has what it takes to ensure. That'll be the end of Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar. We'll hear no more of Jack. Hopefully no more of Gary either. And yeah. But this thing about every time my election is called PNM, had to be on pins and needles and your heart in your belly. Let me stop that stupidness now. Let's enter that, right? We must be going into an election solid, and we know we're going and win. Instead of election night, you're sweating and you won. We're fed up with that. Be fed up with that. Let us go confidently, knowing, hey, it's like in Barbados, when we are multi-party, we go in and we take in all the seats. We know in Trinidad we will get all the seats because there are some the supporters of the UNC in their base, the strongholds, and they have no moving there. It don't matter what. It don't matter what. No moving. Because last night I'm talking about the issue and the UNC's prospects, and then the gentleman who calls them to say, why I don't talk about the crime, and talk about it sometime next week as well. But the issues that I will raise re-crime and show you the contribution that the UNC is making towards the crime situation. They refuse to support critical legislation. Their star lawyer. So just take that into consideration. Okay, so folks, thank you all so much. I think we will speak to the admins of this page and see what we could do to set up something so that persons who are interested, it will be a page dedicated for you all who are interested. It will be a page dedicated for you all, and we will have discussions with the chairman of the party and others to see all of you. So there is a role for all of you. So we will definitely do that. Joyce Small White says, see how some of them live in and to the party, yes, but they always say that it's PNM people suffering and only PNM constituencies, people poor and struggling and so on. Corporations doing, penal corporations doing, penal DB. What they do to alleviate flooding, all the money they get, Separia, all of these different corporations, Cuba, Tabaki, Talparo, Mayaro, all the UNC controlling that. Which parts of the countries always have most flood when rainfall? Look, Pearl says we must learn to ignore their noise and nothing you say will convince them. So true. Nikki James said she's on board. Excellent. Denise Cummings says the worst they didn't care about here. So true. So have a good day, and we will chat again tonight, and then of course Sunday morning, God. So have a good day, and we will chat again tonight, and then of course Sunday morning, God's willing, we will also chat again. We'll see what developments takes place then, and hopefully Anil Roberts will surface by then. If not, I'm not surprised. But so have a good day, and we will chat again tonight, and then of course Sunday morning, God's willing, we will also chat again. We'll see what developments takes place then, and hopefully Anil Roberts will surface by then. If not, I'm not surprised. But tell Anil, we're looking for him. Anil, where? We're looking for you, boy. We want to hear you.